Welcome, one and all. Today I'll be talking about the root of mind. So, this term comes from the material, The Law of One, and what they talk about this frequently in this material. And it is really speaking to the heart or the center of being, the individual, where the individuality is sprouted or initiated. And I'll just be talking about, the different qualities of your root of mind and the foliage of mind, which is something that I have procured out of the ethers and kind of created to make it a distinction between the two. But really, in all respects, there is no difference. There is only the root of mind, and that is the whole reality that is generated for your entire experience as a human being on this world, in a family, with your partner, with the child that you have. It's all stemming from this neutrality and this existence that is unequivocally there. Yet we get so confused and so contorted and misconceived about what it is we are, because we're always constantly attributing what we are to the foliage of the mind, which is not actually true. We are actually the root. We are actually not the product of the mind, because that's what the physical is. The physical is the product of your quality, the state of being you are. So, you can take so many different meanings away from that, but what I'm getting at here is that the foliage is the product, the creature, and the root of the mind is the sustenance, the life force that is giving the physical somewhat consistency and permanence and density. So the objective world is what we associate ourselves with mostly, because that's what the ego is the objective world. It's the five senses. It's people like to think that there's no ego in like some quality of thoughts or a particular strain of thoughts, which is a complete nonsense, because the ego has to do with the five senses. And whether you're counting numbers and doing mathematical equations, or writing out in a journal, or thinking about the dream that you had, these are all associated with your physical senses. So, you're doing a mathematical equation in your mind. You're imaging, you're picturing the numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all the letters that come with that in algebra and all that stuff. You're attributing that to the sense of vision. It is through vision that you are the physical phenomena of vision that you're able to do mathematical equations. Same with language. You can hear and pronounce all different types of words through the sense of hearing in your head, and string together all these different sentences, right? So this all is the ego, and there is no getting out of it unless you cease thoughts. Anyway, I want to get back to this and talk about how the object is what we are experiencing first, but this is backwards, and this is why we are schizophrenic as a society. We are completely fragmented, split. Everybody has split personalities. Everybody, because we associate who we are with the product of who we are, with the foliage, with the manifestation, and there is a deniable like reason to deny that you are not that, and that's why we have the frustration, the anger, and all this stuff that stems from not acknowledging the actual primordial source from which all your existence and all of your experience centerpiece of. It's the watcher, it is the observer, it is the awareness that is able to perceive everything that is foliage. Is the phenomena that is having the medium of the physical five senses. It is the medium for the five senses. That's what the awareness and your being is, your life. That's what your life is. Your existence, your every life, your every move is actually based in awareness. It's based in consciousness. So how do we get to the root? We get to the root through the personal relationship with the self. The self to the self discovers the self. So the objective world is how we really make connections and become more connected on a physical level, yet we feel and we sense deeply, at the physical, not like, we physically and metaphysically have the sense of the quality of service to others deep within us by the root of mind. Okay, so the foliage, the service to others, is that we are producing, what we are exchanging, what we are contributing, what we have given to people and are willing to share. And that could be your anger, that could be your shame, that could be your pride, that could be your gratitude, your compassion, your approval. It could be anything, but whether or not it is determined good or bad, it is still service to others. So don't kind of distinguish these as either good or bad, but whether you're literally killing somebody or if you are healing somebody and saving their lives, it's a service to others, okay? And please do not make any delineations about that, okay? And if you guys want to talk more about that or get into morality and stuff like that, then please leave comments in the section below on YouTube. So the service to self is really the only service, because there's only self. There's only our only existence. There's only existence, and if you are not existence, then you are non-existent, and there's no location for that. There's no existence for non-existence, because where would it go? Where would it come from? Where would existence come from if it was non-existent? Okay, so everything that exists is the self. It is the nutrients for the self to grow and expand and branch out, so to speak. So the root of mind is, what we are constantly operating and motivated by. And people think or have the impression or the assumption that they're motivated by material things, but really it's actually the root of mind. Whether it's, you are looking for positive kind of reinforcement on your identity, or if it's something like you wanting to have approval of what you are, who you are in the moment, the quality and state of being you have been in the past week, month, years, decades, whatever it is, we're actually attributing all that stuff that we picked up here and has blossomed and kind of bloomed into the physical. So it's really kind of sloppy, and it's inefficient, and it's just plainly and directly, kind of useless in a lot of senses to work out here, to do the work, the outer work, so to speak, because everything that is ever real is really interpreted. It is only everything that is actually existent has the foundation, has the seed of its manifestation in non-existence. So the subject, which is the person, the individuality, so to speak, but how can individuality be truly individuality if everybody has it? Everybody has individuality, so it's not real, true individuality. Like that phenomena of thinking or assuming that you are an individual is completely ungrounded, and it's completely has no foundation whatsoever, because what you are is also what another person is. What you are is actually a shared experience, because they also experience individuality. And although you guys might not be on the same timeline or the same experiences or whatever, through empathy, through sensitivity, which is cultivated through service to self, and is cultivated through the private world, so to speak, that quality that is cultivated there is what is truly what is of service and what is real. Okay, so you talk about maybe experiencing things in the physical and having all these relationships and stuff. It's actually what's going on is that you are interpreting and you are putting meanings and definitions and descriptions on the other person, and that is your relationship. So it all actually comes from you. It all actually derives from you, the relationship, all of them, and your reactivity to the objective world will color and kind of distort and make your subjective world biased in the way that which you color it. So the way that you are able to step back, slow down, take a breath, and become the existence that you are without any second thought, without any thought, if you can. Take that moment, because it only can be attained a moment. It's sudden, it's spontaneous. No thought cannot be planned, and it cannot be focused. It cannot be effort. You cannot make effort towards no thought. It is a consequence of your state of being. It's a consequence, and I don't want to say product because it's not material, but it is a offshoot or a sequence, or the sequential phenomena that happens when you are at one and at peace, and really just like the moment that is the place of death, where everybody has to really visit this moment of no thought before they die, because they that's when they feel like they're the most alive, and that is like the transcendence between realms, so to speak. But that's just going into my own little personal biases and belief systems. But The root of mind is ultimately what your work is. Your work is the root. It is not in the physical. It's not in the you think you help people first, or you give you self-sacrifice. It's not that way. You don't do that. You don't do that. And you put your service towards yourself, and get your roots all straightened out, not tangled up. Make it so that it's expansive and always has nutrients for itself in whatever ways is seems fit to you. Because the way I get nutrients and my kind of proverbial foliage is not the same foliage and the nutrients that like you need or that you get. So what you need to do is you can do the self-care stuff, and that's like a pop cultural term, but really getting down to the motivating factor of what you're doing at all moments. And it's not even about figuring that out. It's not about figuring out why you like to do stuff, or why you're doing this, why you're here, why you're there, why you're here on this planet. It's not necessarily about that. It's because that is it's always changing depending on the timeline you're on. So what you essentially want to get down to is your own ability to make peace and to accept the moment absolutely for what it is. And that is the hardest thing you'll ever have to do, because you are God, and you kind of are having this backlash, or this split, and it's painful to you as God, as each of us are. And with that, we forget that we are also all one. So when we're always constantly associating that object, that that behavior of that person, or what they said or what they did, when we're constantly associating that with what we are, then we get out of our own self, and we become the other person, which is also you. However, it's not the you that has any true power. I don't want to say power, because power kind of implies control, but it's the you that has this essence that is primordial and is infinite and is eternal. So if you get to this point of feeling this, like you're basically indomitable, you are everlasting, and you're deathless and invincible. This feeling is ultimately what you are, because you are God, you are the creator, and the creator creates its life from the roots. It creates the foliage from the roots. The creator of the tree, the primal mover, is the roots. The root is the only way that the foliage is able to really take flight and take to the skies, so to speak, so that it can expand and experience just as it is. It doesn't have to experience in any particular way. The foliage doesn't have to grow in any particular way, because it will grow, and it will change, and it will go through the seasons and cycles. And no matter what the tree thinks about what direction it should go, or how many flowers or how many much fruit it should have here and there. Despite all that, the tree is a manifestation, and that is enough. That the manifestation, the presence of that tree is enough. So take that example, that analogy, and apply it to your own life, and now say, and now believe, and now command that what you are is always enough, because you are here, you are present, you are existence, and you are the one creator, and you are the creator of your life. You are the creator, and you accept things as they come because they are the product of what you have weaved in your past, and you must come to terms with them, and you must be aware of them. That's what coming to terms with. Coming to terms with only means by seeing it and recognizing it, not recognizing it as something, as a description, as a definition. Don't put any more definitions on what comes up, what arises. Just look at it for what it is, and no longer be concerned about whether this is going to help you with your life here, or if it's going to help you in your life in another planet or another lifetime. Do not be concerned with that. Just become still within you, in the arising, in the confrontation, in the movement of the manifestation into you. Okay? So thank you all for watching, and you are enough as you are. You are as much as you will ever be as you are now. So accept this and revel in the joy and freedom of what you are, and rejoice in the one infinite creator, and love you very much. Thank you.